The initial proposal of the League of Nations. At the start of the First World War, the first scheme for international organization to prevent future wars began to gain the considerable public support, particularly in Great Britain and the United States. Goldsworthy Lawrence Dixon, a British political scientist, coined the term League of Nations in 1914, drafting a scheme for its organization together with the Lord Baer, and he played a leading role in the founding of the group of internationalist pacifists known as the Baer Group, later the League of Nations Union. The group became steadily more influential among the public and as the pressure group within the then governing Liberal Party. In Dickinson's 1915 pamphlet after the war, he wrote of his League of Peace as being essentially an organization for the arbitration and conciliation. He felt that the secret diplomacy of the early 20th century had brought about war and thus could write that the impossibilities of war, I believe, would be increased in a proportion as the issue of the foreign policy should be known to and controlled by the public opinion. The proposal of the Baeric groups were circulated widely both in England and US, where they had profound influence on the nascent international movements. Within 2 weeks of the start of the war, feminists began to mobilize against the war, and having been barred for the participating in prior peace organization, American women formed a Women Peace Parade committee to plan a silent protest to the war, led by the chairwoman Fanny Garrison. Valid women from the trade union, feminist organization, and social reformer organizations such as the Katie Wheeler Barrett, Mary Ritter Parrott, and Carrie Champion Cat and Rose Schneiderman and Linen Weld and other organized 1,500 women who marched down Manhattan 15th Avenue on 29 August 1914. As a result of the parade, Jane Addams becomes interested in a proposal by two European suffragists, Hungarian Rosika Schumacher and British Emmeline Patrick Lawrence, to hold a peace conference on 9 to 10 January 1915. A peace conference directed by the Adams was held in the Washington, D.C., where the delegates adopted a platform calling for the creation of international bodies with the administrative and legislative power to develop a permanent league of neutral nations to work for a peace and disarmament. Within the month, a call was made for the International Women's Conference to be held in The Hague, coordinated by the Mia Bosninia and Alata Jacob and the Rose Manus, and the Congress, which opened on 28 April 1915, was attended by the 1136 participants from the both neutral and the non-belligerent nations, and resulted in the establishment of an organization which would become the Women's International League for the Peace and Freedom. At the close of the conference, two delegations of women were dispatched to meet European head of the state. Over the next several months, they secured agreement from the reluctant foreign minister, who overall felt that such a body would be ineffective, but agreed to participate or not impeded creation of a neutral mediating body if other nations agreed, and if President Woodrow Wilson would initiate a body in the midset of the war. Wilson refused. In 1915, a similar body to be the Baer Group proposal was set up in the United States by the groups of like-minded individuals, including William Howard Taft. It was called the League of Enforced Peace and was substantially based on the proposal of the Baer Group. It advocated the use of the arbitration in conflict resolution and the imposition of the sanction on aggressive countries. None of these early organizations envisaged a continuously functioning body, with the exception of the Fabian Society in England. They maintained a legislative approaches that would limit the international body to a court of justice. The Fabian were the first to argue for a council of states, necessarily the great powers who would educate world affairs and for the creation of a permanent secretariat to the enhance international cooperation across a range of activities. In the course of diplomatic efforts surrounding World War I, both sides had to clarify their long-term war aims. By 1916, in the Britain, the leader of the Allies and the neutral United States, long-range thinkers had begun to design a unified international organization to prevent future wars. Historian Peter Yearwood argues that when the new coalition governments of the David Lloyd George took power in December 1916, there was a widespread discussion among the intellectual and diplomatic and desirabilities of establishing such an organization. When Lloyd George was challenged by the Wilson to state his position with an eye on the post-war situation, he endorsed such an organization. Wilson himself included in his 14 points in January 1918 a League of Nations to ensure peace and justice. British Foreign Secretary Arthur Balfour and argued that as a condition of the durable peace behind international law and behind all the treaties agreements for preventing or limiting hostilities, some form of international sanction should be devised which would give pause to the hardiest aggressor. The war had a profound impact affecting the social, political, and economic system of the Europe and inflicting psychological and the physical damage. Several empires collapsed. First, the Russian Empire in the February 1917, followed by the German Empire, Austro-Hungarian Empire, Ottoman Empire. Anti-war sentiments rose across the world, and the First World War was described as the war and all wars, and its possible causes were vigorously investigated. The causes identified included arms, races, alliances, militaristic and nationalism, secret diplomacy, and freedom of the sovereign state to enter into a war for their own benefits. One proposed remedy was the creation of an international organization whose aim was to prevent future war through disarmament, open diplomacy, international cooperation, restriction on the rights to wage war, and penalties that made war unattractive. In London, Balfour commissioned first official reports into the matter in early 1980s under the initiative of the Lord Roberts Council, and the British Committee was finally appointed in the February 1918. It was led by the Walter Fillmore, but also included the Crow, Williams, Tyree, and the Cecil Hurst, and the recommendation of the so-called Fillmore's commissions included the establishment of the Conference of Allied States that would arbitrate disputes and impose sanctions on the offending states. The proposals were approved by the British government, and much of the commission results were later incorporated into the Covenant of League of Nations. The French also drafted a much more far-reaching proposal in June 1918. They advocated annual meeting of a council to settle all disputes as well as international army to enforce its decisions. The American President Woodrow Wilson instructed Edward House to draft a U.S. plan which reflected Wilson's own idealistic views, first articulated in the 14 points of January 1918, as well as the work of the Fillmore Commission. The outcomes of the House's work and Wilson's own first draft posed the termination of the unethical statement behavior, including forms of the espionage and the dishonesty. Method of the compulsions against the recalcitrant states would be included several measures such as the black coding and closing the frontier of their power to commerce or intercourse with any part of the world, and to use any force that may be necessary. The two principal drafter and the architect of the Covenant of the League of Nations were the British politician Lord Robert Council and the South African statesman Jan Smuts. And Smuts' proposal included the creation of a Council of the Great Power as a permanent member and a non-permanent selection of the minor states. He also proposed the creation of the mandate system for the capture colonies of the central power during the war. Council focused on the administrative side and proposed annual council meeting and quadrennial meetings. Central power during the war. Council focused on the administrative side and proposed annual council meeting and quadrennial meetings for the assembly of all members. He also argued for a large and permanent secretariat to carry out the league administrative duties.